A $700,000 house did not cost him a nickel, and you've got, I believe, 15,000 minimum profit built in.
Right.
Hello, everyone out there. This is Michael Matthew with PINK TV, where we help you channel your financial freedom through real estate. We've got a really important guest here, Mr. David Hurd. I consider you very important, in fact. And David has, at this point, relocated to Jacksonville corporate for a number of reasons. Most of all, it's a phenomenal market down here right now.
It is.
And you're a living testament to that. So we brought David on the channel here today. We're going to be bringing him on upcoming series, obviously, to let you guys know about his progress down here. So he's basically starting as a newbie. He was up in Memphis, Tennessee, did deals up there.
Right.
And now he's down in Jacksonville, Florida. So guys, I think this is a phenomenal testament to if you've got the support, the coaching, the training. It doesn't matter if you're in Memphis, Jacksonville, Florida, or Timbuktu. If you follow the system, you put the work in, you can make a lot of money doing this. So David, I stole you today. Tell me about today's deal. How did it start? So my understanding is you put a $700,000 house under contract, correct?
Yes.
How much money did that cost you?
Let me add it up real quick. Zero.
So $0, folks. I mean, we talk all the time about this channel on no money, no credit investment strategies. A $700,000 house did not cost him a nickel, and you've got, I believe, 15,000 minimum profit built in.
Right.
And then we're going to obviously go back and negotiate that once we have the buyer. We're going to drop links below on how we do the negotiating process on your behalf. So how did that lead come on your desk today? And kind of talk about kind of the, well, how it came to be.
Yeah, great. So this was actually a PINK seller from years ago. He approached PINK. I don't recall how many years ago, probably 5-6 years ago, with a couple of properties that we helped him with. He was thrilled by the outcome. So he sent Scott an email on Friday. So which was just 3 days ago, Scott forwarded the email to me. I had another seller appointment that morning, so I couldn't call him right away, but I did shoot him an email. An hour later, I get a text from Jeff, our acquisitions specialist. Jeff had mentioned that he called Ed was the seller. So again, the team is right on top of things, and so Jeff had already talked with the seller. We had scheduled a home appointment for this morning. So we met Ed at his property this morning, sat down with him. Of course, he already knows what our program's all about. So we just kind of had to basically go over the agreement with him. We took a tour, and then it's off to the races.
I love it. In fact, this guy, Mr. Jenkins, when Scott and I first got started, we've been in business here almost 8 years, or about 8 years at this point, and we're going to see more and more of this, folks. So just to be very clear, so forbearance is lifting, moratoriums lifting. Moratoriums on rent lifting right now is going to create a ton of tired landlords, and that's what Mr. Jenkins has been for years. So this is a gentleman that has millions upon millions of dollars in his own personal long-term buy and hold portfolio. Smart guy. I mean, as sharp as they come. I would like to go on record and say that we turned his first house down. So Scott and I went out there to the house. He was claiming it as beachfront property, and it was basically a swamp that was about 3 feet deep and about 4 feet wide. Ed, if you're watching, obviously, we love you. That being said, though, he's tired. He's trying to get rid of land. He's trying to get rid of houses right now. He's been through our program. We have liquidated his portfolio. Now he's coming back on. At this point, he sees the writing on the wall. Guys, anyone that's out there that has been a landlord over the last 12 to 18 months, unless you struck lightning in a bottle and you've got the perfect tenant, which I have a couple of those. So I'm not going to lie. I have had some really good experiences. I've had some bad ones as well. Ed is no different. He is trying to, at this point, whether it's for, money for this, that, or the other, we're never going to go out there and try and spend anyone else's money, but he sees kind of the writing on the wall. He's exhausted. He contacted us. David heard, went out there. What did the in-house call look like today? So you walk the property. For newbies at home, brand new affiliates with Pink, what do you do when you walk in the house? What's your tenor? What's your posture? Is most of it done on the phone before you get out there? And then what kind of groundwork is there once you are on site?
Yeah, great question. So, this one happened relatively quickly. Like I said, first contact was just 3 days ago. Home appointment, was today. So even when it happens that quickly, like you said, it doesn't happen at the house for the first time. Mm-hmm. So there's due diligence that we have to do on our end just to make sure it's going to be a good fit for us today. So yeah, we did some just preliminary checks on the property. Just simple thing. One thing we found before going out there this morning was that on Zillow, if you look on Zillow, if it's a for sale by owner, it's going to say for sale by owner. This one I noticed it was just said for sale. So what does that tell us? It's being listed by an agent. So come to find out, he does have an MLS flat fee contract ongoing. So that's a big thing for us because now we lose everything on Zillow, except so that was big. So that going into it, had we not done our due diligence up front, okay, we would have been surprised by that. Okay.
Now, what made you decide? So we talk a lot about in the training. So obviously we're always looking for an exclusive agreement. Some people, Ed, for example, would never pull his MLS with us back in the day either. So, David's been doing this a couple of years. I've been doing this for a long time. So it wasn't anything David did wrong. He wouldn't pull it for me. And I would put myself up about against anyone as far as getting contracts together. But so he didn't want to remove that MLS. So he's got a paid listing, but he does not have a listing agent. So what do we do now? So this is a phenomenal video, actually, because, we often talk about not taking on properties where we cannot control Zillow. Obviously, it's the world's largest search engine for real estate. What was that conversation like? How'd you work through that? What ultimately made you decide to still take that on your inventory?
Yeah, so actually it's still on the table. So he's going to get back with us, and I'm pretty confident he's going to give us exclusivity for, I was begging for 60 days. Not really begging. So basically the important thing, like we do with everything, we're going to approach the seller, what's in it for them? Mm-hmm. What are they going to get out of it? Okay. So basically I told him, I said, Mr. Jenkins, if we can have exclusivity, I'm going to do a floor plan, I'm going to do virtual tour, we're going to do all this marketing here, if we can get exclusivity. Because if we can't get exclusivity, we're wasting our efforts, because 9 times out of 10, the buyer sees our marketing, that guess what? They Google it, and guess where it goes? It goes to Zillow, and guess who gets contacted? Not us. It goes to an agent.
So we don't necessarily jump in feet first if we don't have that exclusivity. So imagine, he has done several deals with corporate at this point, so you probably have a pretty good shot at that. Explain why that's important. If you're out there marketing against a home that already has either a listing agent and they're willing to compete, and or a, just kind of that purchased Zillow listing, if you will, why does that matter to us either way?
Yeah, great question. So obviously we want to control all marketing. We want to control all buyer calls, all interest. If it has to go through an agent, well, it was very easy for this particular seller because at the price point, if he continues with the
$700,000, folks, by the way. Yes.
So at that price point, if he continues with the flat fee listing, more than likely it's going to be a buyer and a buyer agent that comes to the table, and his fee is automatically $20,000. Yep. Okay, so if you remember at the beginning of the video here, his fee with us, or it's not his fee, but he agreed to come down $15,000. Mm-hmm. So just by pausing his MLS listing, he's already going to save an extra $5,000 or $6,000 just right off the top because there's no commission involved. Okay, so. It's important that we can control that Zillow, so we control the buyers that are interested in the property, who are going to see the property. We just want our fingerprint on the deal. We want to know the pulse of what's going on here. We don't want to have to rely in this situation on an agent. Okay, now that's not always true because there are some times that we love working with agents.
Let's talk about the flip side here. Let's say Mr. Jenkins comes back and says, you know what? I've liquidated my a portion of my portfolio through y'all before successfully. This one, I'm going to keep my paid listing on Zillow, but I want you guys to go to work as well. What do you say? And how do you approach that?
Yeah. So, and I've had this a few times with past homes, and it's really easy. Hey, let's have a race to the buyer. And that's really all it is.
Love it.
So he's going to continue with his marketing. I'm going to do my marketing. But hey, let's see who can bring the buyer first. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, love that, guys. And we're going to go ahead and drop some links below. So we're doing a new video series on FSBO flips. So for sale by owner flips. So these are traditional deals where you still do not need to have a real estate license to do them. You've done some FSBO flips already, correct?
Yes.
What do you make on those? What do you made?
I'd say average. Well, actually, both of them I made $9,000 on both.
Okay, so $9,000, $18,000 on 2 deals. FSBO flips. These are retail-based sellers that we brought a retail-based buyer into the fray. We still carved out for David, with David, $18,000 on 2 deals, guys. So you don't need a license, just to be very clear, to do these deals. We prefer the executive lease purchase. I mean, that's kind of our business model. We've got everything kind of wrapped around that. However, just based on pandemic and other things, we really had to pivot. Just like every other business out there, we're not immune to the pandemic. So what we did was we got involved in FSBO flips. So these are retail-based deals that we can take down just like a traditional purchase and sale, and you still don't need that license. Obviously, we can do the executive lease purchase deals, which are our favorite. They're more lucrative. We can do wholesale deals. We can do wholetail deals. We can do sub-twos. Guys, we're going to do a lot more on this video series. Wanted to bring David on here today because he's hot to trot with his fresh new piece of inventory, $700,000, $15,000 built in. We'll go ahead and do an update on this channel soon as you put that check in the bank, correct?
That's right. Sure.
Mr. Hurd, love having you on here. Guys, thanks for joining us today on the PINK TV YouTube channel. We're really looking forward to really building our audience up here. We've got a tremendous amount of folks across the country and internationally at this point that are part of our PINK family, and we're excited to share this information with you. So until next time, guys, thanks for joining us. Take care. Make it a great day.